And he's now speaking out in agreement with his fellow comedian Jerry Seinfeld in saying we've lost our ability to be silly. John O'Hurley joins us here on National Report. John, let's have a little fun, shall we?
Okay.
We need a good laugh, especially these days. And I know your co-star Jerry Seinfeld had made some headlines earlier. He had this to say about the people who are ruining comedy. In case you missed it, here's that moment.
Oh, Cheers is on. Oh, MASH is on. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on. All in the Family's on. You just expected there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people. When you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke, well, that's the end of your comedy. They move the gates, like in skiing. Yeah. Culture, the gates are moving. Your job is to be agile and clever enough that wherever they put the gates, I'm going to make the gate.
John, what do you think of that analysis?
I think he's spot on. The first casualty of any attempt at social reform is always the collective sense of humor and the ability to make fun of yourself. That is what keeps us mentally healthy. Because as they said at Firesign Theater back in the 60s, in the middle of the Vietnam era, they said, Firesign Theater said, remember, we are all just bozos on the bus. And it couldn't be more true. Unfortunately, there is such a resistance now. Everything has to be digested through the prism of, is it socially correct, before they can even muster up a laugh. I find it now on stage very, very often.
Yeah, sort of the guardrails that you feel are put in place because, I mean, when your career's on the line, there's a lot at stake. And talk to us about what that maybe means for humor and comedy. Are comedians more hesitant to push the boundaries when it comes to the content of their comedy?
They absolutely are, because it only takes, the internet is forever. And unfortunately, careers come and go like that. And just the notion that you've been inappropriate is enough to scare the pencil out of any writer's hand.
Why do you think that is? I mean, you've got people who've been in the business probably for years, still in the writing room, or at least adjacent to it. Are these just younger folks who are entering the field who have that much power?
I think it's because the internet speaks so loudly. We didn't have that before. Let's go back a little bit in time to the late 1880s when we had the Victorian movement and everything was very socially everybody was a little bit, cautious about what they said and religion and what have you. And then from the Victorian period, what did? We reacted with the flapper era, where all of a sudden the dresses got super short and they danced till dawn. What followed that? Prohibition. So everything kind of runs in cycles. So that's the good news, because maybe we are coming back to seeing the end of one cycle and going towards at least a sense of humor again. I don't know. What I do know is that this is a different time because these ideologies are political and they're religious. And that is a tougher root to shake free.
Yeah. We also need humor right now. I think they're yeah.
It's part of our mental health.
Yeah, and people have been suffering a lot recently when it comes to their mental health, how they view the world. I mean, there's a lot of negative news out there. We talk about it every single day. And sometimes you like to go to these TV shows where you can just relax and have a laugh and not being worried about being offended by what's said. Maybe you don't agree with it, but you're not going to lash out at folks. And so I just wonder if comedians are so fearful about potentially facing the backlash that they're afraid to say the next line. Just wanted to ask you, John, if you think Seinfeld would be written the same or the same sort of jokes or punchlines today as it was when it first came out.
Well, I would tell you that the read-through that we would have every week would be a whole different experience, because they would be going through the jokes going, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Now, fortunately, Seinfeld was not a jokey type of show. It was funny because everybody played the scenes as a drama. It wasn't because we were setting up for a punchline. It was because we were all, the show was funny because we played it over the top.